Welcome to our tutorial of Proflan YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to have these predicted concepts for IGCSE Edexcel Maths Paper 1. So we're going to look at the area of sectors and the question that you may be asked to work out as far as area of sectors is concerned. So let's dive in so that we can be able to get started and see how you're supposed to approach questions. So you may be told to find the area and perimeter of sectors and areas of circles at that given point. For instance, this particular question here, we are told that find the area of a circle. Now in this case here, we are given the circle of diameter 14, so which means that we need to find the radius of that circle, and the radius is going to be 7, and then you can use now the formula pi r squared so that we can be able to get our area being equivalent to 153 centimeter squares, and this correct to 3 significant figures. So what you have to ensure anytime you're going to be given a question, remember to give it to the accuracy that you are supposed to give in that particular exam. Question number 9, question number 2, I want you to try it out. If you are given the radius 9, so you see now this one we're not going to find diameter, radius, now we're given radius direct. We're going to use 9 the way it is, so we're going to say this is the radius 9, so meaning that we're going to say that's 81 pi, and to 3 significant figures we can be able to say this is going to be 254 centimeters squared. We substitute it there, and now proceeding and changing the gear to sectors. You may be given a sector like this and you are told to find the area of the sector. So something that you need to remember, area of a sector is given by theta times pi r squared. So our theta is the angle that is given here, 140, times pi times 16 squared, which is the radius. And if we put this in our calculator, let's see what it's going to give us. That is 312 centimeters square. We transfer it here. Now, another year student were asked to work out the question that looks like this, and the shaded region was given as 80 centimeters square. The area of the shaded part was given by 80 centimeters square. So meaning for you to work out this, you are first to say let the sides of the square be x, so that the diameter also is going to be x, which implies that the radius is going to be x over 2, the radius of the circle. Then we can be able to find now area of the square is going to be x times x, which is x squared, and area of the circle is going to be pi r squared, which is going to be pi over x over 2 squared. This is going to translate to pi x squared over 4. Then now proceeding to the next bit, let me just transfer it down here. Yeah, so if we subtract these two areas, area of a square and area of the circle, we're going to get the area of the shaded region, which is equivalent to 80 centimeters square. Sorry. Then we can now factor x squared out so that I can be able to divide both sides what's inside the bracket. And if I simplify that, I'm going to get x squared is equals to that. If I simplify it, it will be 372.8. Then I find the square root both sides so that I can be able to find the value of x. Now this is the side of a square, but we were asked to find the length AC, and AC was the diagonal. Yeah, let's go there. I'll show you. AC is the diagonal, so which means that let me just move up. AC, I will have to remove this so that you can draw AC. AC is the diagonal, and you can see now if this is 19, yeah, if this is 19.3 and this is 19.3, then we can be able to use Pythagoras theorem in order to work it out. If you work it out, you're going to get your answer being equivalent to around, if we work it out, we shall get around 27.3 centimeters. So AC, which is the diagonal, is 27.3 centimeters. Now, in this question, students were supposed to find the area of one circle, and the three identical circles were placed inside a circle like that, but we are told the circumference of the large circle was 160. So how will they find the area of one of the circle that we have here? Now, to work out this, we are going to use the circumference given so that we know what's the diameter of the big circle. So once we have the diameter of the big circle, we're going to divide the diameter by 3 because we are having 3 diameters of small circles. So let's first go ahead and say circumference. I'll correct that. Circumference is 2 pi r, and then that is going to be 160. 2 pi r divided by 2 pi divided by 2 pi. The radius of the big circle here is going to be what? The radius of the big circle is going to be 25.5. Then now for me to get the diameter of the big circle, it will be 25.5 times 2, which is going to be 50.9. Yeah, so which means that I can now divide that, as that's the diameter, which is 50.93. So if I divide by everything by 3 here, for me to get the diameter of the small circle, I'm going to get 16.98. So that's the diameter of the small circle. But I need to find the radius of the small circle, which is going to be 8.5, because 16.98 divided by 2, 8.5. I've rounded. Then I say area is equal to pi r squared, and my area now becomes yeah, so well, that's exactly what we are supposed to do in order to work out this question. And if you are new here, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. Let's dive in so that we can be able to see what's the other question that could be asked, and that has been asked, so that you can be able to prepare for this coming exam. Also, area of a sector, here the students was asked to find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the arc length plus the 2 radius that we have here. So we are going to say perimeter is going to be theta of 360 2 pi r. This is the arc length, then plus 2 twice the radius. So we have this and that. We have to add the 2 radius together. So that will give us this arc length, and then plus the 2 radius. So we shall start by finding the arc length, and then once we have gotten the answer here, yeah, so once we get the answer here, we shall now add plus 2 times 5.2 for the radius, and if you work it out, you're going to get your answer equivalent to 16.48. And then to 3 significant figures, this is going to be, let me just transfer this down here so that we can be able to have it written. 3 significant figures to be 16.5. Question number 7, we are supposed to give our perimeter in terms of that. Yeah, so perimeter of the sector P is given by R into C pi plus K, where K and C are constants to be found. So in order to work out this, we are going to use just the normal formula for arc length is there 360 theta over 360 2 pi r, and then radius. So we just substitute the variables the way they are. So this is going 60 plus 2 times the radius. Yeah, so and this radius should be twice. Then we can now simplify everything that we have there, and then we can factor out r the way the question was expecting us to leave your answer. Now once we have this is the final answer, because we are supposed to leave our answer in that particular form. Let me just move this down. Okay, let's look at question 8 without wasting time. We are given the angle there 132, and then students were supposed to find the perimeter of the shaded region. So much of the challenge that in this question was to find the angle to use, but you can be able to use circle theorem. You draw a chord here and this one there. So this angle that we have here are opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral. So this will be our 180 minus 132 will give us that angle, which is going to be 48. Then times 2 will get this. No, not this 48. It's not this one. It's this one, which is 48. Times 2, we shall get this particular angle, times 2, which is going to give us 96. So this is actually 96. The red one, 96. But to get the angle that I've indicated with blue, that will be 36 minus 96, and that will be 264. So 264 is the angle that we're going to use at this particular point. And in that way, I'm going to now use the standard formulas for finding arc length, but using the angle, which is 264 over 360, 2 pi r, and the radius here is 8.5 plus 2r, and then that is going to give our answer. So basically that's what we are going to do, and we shall be able to get our answer as 56.2 centimeters as our perimeter. Guys, if you have gotten value from this particular video, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to do more tutorials, you'll be notified. I'm going to add the link to the PDF so that you can be able to download and continue answering the rest of the question. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and also you can share this video to your friends. See you, and all the best in your exam.